Here's something most neurotypical wives don't realize. You didn't stop being lovable. You stopped being your autistic husband's special interest. You know, when you first met, you were novel, complex, stimulating. And for someone with ASD, novelty often triggers intense focus, deep attention, curiosity, emotional energy. But here's the hard truth. Special interests aren't built to last forever. You know, once something becomes familiar, once it stops activating the brain in the same way, the intensity naturally fades. Now, that doesn't mean he stopped caring or that he stopped loving you. It doesn't mean that you failed, or it doesn't mean that you weren't enough. It simply means his brain moved on the way it always does with special interests. But that's a loss. That sudden emotional distance, it can be devastating, especially when no one explains what's happening. So you're not imagining it, you're not too needy, and you're not broken for wanting connection. Now, if this resonates with you, you're not alone, and this conversation matters more than people realize. There's a lot of neurotypical wives that didn't understand in the early going of the relationship that their husband was on the autism spectrum, so they took all of these ASD traits as a personal affront, and why wouldn't you? So if you stopped being your ASD husband's special interest, what replaced you? Well, in most ASD marriages, the focus doesn't disappear, it redirects. It redirects to something more predictable, controllable, something that doesn't require a bunch of emotional reciprocity. It could be work, gaming, technology, routines, hobbies, research systems, alone time. So special interests aren't about love. It has nothing to do with that. It's about emotional regulation. His special interests calm the nervous system. It reduces uncertainty. It demands less emotional risk. And that's why it hurts so deeply. You didn't get replaced by another person. You got replaced by something easier. So that's hard to hear. Now, this isn't a competition you could win, and it isn't a reflection of your worth. But here's the question that matters. What do you need now? If emotional connection isn't naturally wired the same way, what do you need now? Now, if this sounds familiar, like, subscribe, comment below. I will respond to your comments. I've got a lot of videos coming up because there's a lot more to unpack on this topic.